You're sitting there wondering why I don't look the same as I do in the thumbnail. It's because this is the second time I'm recording this. Hi guys, so welcome back to my channel. This is the second time that I'm filming this. The first time, it was completely out of focus. I look like poop. I swear I looked better before, but this is the second time I'm filming this. So we're just gonna do with what we do and we're just gonna make it work. If you can hear any sort of clicking noises in the background or cars in the background, my brother and Antonio are playing video games, so you can probably hear that, but we're just rolling with it. How much worse can I get? Anyway, thanks for coming to this video. I wanted to make this video because I have recently gone on a weight loss journey as of July of 2019, and I wanted to make a video as to, as you can probably tell by the title of the video, how I lost 35 pounds in 3 months. I'm not going to be talking about specific numbers in this video. I still get a lot of anxiety saying the numbers out loud, just because of how far gone that I allowed myself to get. And I think once I lose a little bit more weight, maybe I'll get a little bit more comfortable with saying it. But for now, I'm not going to be saying any specific numbers besides the fact that I'm down 35 pounds. And I hope you guys can understand why. Before I start this video, I just want to mention and put in a disclaimer here that I am not a doctor, I am not a nutritionist, I am not a licensed dietitian, I am not a personal trainer. These are just things that I did for my health and I found that helped me, and I would like to share with everybody else just in case they might help you. But I am not a doctor or any of that stuff, so just keep that in mind. Always consult what you're going to do with your health, with your doctor, just to make sure that it's going to be in the safest way possible. I want to start off with how I finally decided to make a change in my life. This kind of goes back a couple years. So when I first met Antonio, physically and everything, I was still a little overweight. I've always been overweight most of my life. But I wasn't, as big as I got. But when I first met Antonio, everything physically with my health and everything was fine. So my period had always been regular for years, and then right around 2016 was when it started getting a little bit abnormal, and I lost it for a few months. And then in 2017, after we got married, everything was fine for a little bit. Right around this time was when I had my first miscarriage. And then at the end of the year, somewhere around November time, no, I think even a little bit sooner, I lost my period again, and we went to the doctors, got some imaging done, and I was diagnosed with PCOS. With the PCOS, I had a lot of issues with my menstruation cycle. There were many months where I wouldn't ovulate. I was in a lot of pain most of the time from the cysts, and it just was a lot. And then last year in 2018, in November, was when I went to a gynecologist to discuss family planning mostly, and to discuss the PCOS, see what needed to be done. The doctor that I saw decided that the best thing to do first was for me to try losing some weight. She said that she wanted me to try doing that before starting any treatment or having to take any medications or anything like that, because she said if it was something as easy as losing weight, she would hate for me to waste all this money on other stuff that isn't necessary. During this time, I was very, very stubborn, and I did not want to listen to what it is that she said. I was in my own head during this time, and I was convincing myself that they were just wrong, that there was no way that I was the only person. I do this because I thought I was the only person that would not have children because of my weight, because I would see other women who were bigger or my size and they wouldn't have any issues, and I was very stubborn. At this time, I was 13 pounds less than my heaviest weight. So this means that from November to July, I had gained 13 pounds, which is a good amount. because it's just over 6 months. So it's a lot of weight that I had gained during this time. In July, early July, somewhere around the 19th of July, I was at work and I was on my break, and I just started to look through pictures that I had on Facebook from years ago, and I found one from the year that I had met Antonio, my senior year. I'm going to place the picture right here. I went and I showed a few of my friends this picture because I was like, wow, you know, I look so different. And they agreed. They're like, wow, you look different, or like your hair looks different, or your eyebrows look different. They were all, you know, just saying different things, and I really think it was just because they didn't want to say something that would hurt me. They didn't want to hurt me. But what really got me was when I showed it to the doctor that I work for. And when he saw it, the first thing he said, he's like, wow. And I was like, I know, I look different, right? And his response was, you look healthy. And surprisingly, it didn't affect me the way I thought it was going to affect me. I would have expected myself to start crying or to like be extremely hurt by it. But it really like flipped a switch in my head. I don't know what it was, but something just changed. When I told my best friend this, even she was like, wow, you know, because it's something that sounds so rude, but it was what I needed. And when he said that, I kind of like sat down and I was like, yeah, you're right. I do look healthy and I do look different. And it was a lot. It was insane. And it was that day that I started talking to my coworker, and she started, motivating me and pushing me, and I was like, you know what, I can do this. Like, I can eat healthier. I can go to the gym. I can try to change this. The first tip is to cut out sugars, any additional sugars that aren't necessary. So I cut out sodas, juices, sweets, ice cream, like anything sweet that I didn't need. And so that day was the very last day that I had a soda. I started off with that because I had literally had a Coke in front of me when this happened. But I decided, okay, I'm gonna start off with cutting out the soda and then start eating healthier and start going to the gym. So that was my plan. I stopped drinking soda that weekend because that was like a Friday that it happened. That was the last day that I had touched the soda. I didn't drink a soda during the weekend. I had a severe migraine over the weekend just from that, because of the fact that I just wasn't having a soda and my body was so used to having it almost daily. And so I had horrible migraines the whole weekend. And then that following week was when I started eating healthier. My work schedule is a little off. I work really late, so my mom is very kind and makes food for my lunch most often, and she started integrating healthier foods. So the second thing I did was cut out carbs. That was probably the hardest thing because there's carbs in almost everything, and carbs are what fill us up, and it was kind of hard because my body was so used to carbs. So I cut out breads, I cut out pasta, I cut out potatoes, I cut out rice, all the good things I cut out, because that has a lot to do with what you're eating or with your weight. I focused solely on protein and vegetables. That was my diet, which is technically the keto diet. I don't know much about the keto diet. I don't know how strict it is, but technically is what the base of the keto diet is: low carb, high protein, which is what I was doing during that time, which is what I'm trying to still do. So that was my diet. The third thing I did was I started eating more frequently. So before, I wasn't eating breakfast. I was only eating like a huge lunch. I was filling myself up in lunch and then still eating dinner like a few hours later and eating a bunch. So I decided to start having some sort of breakfast, whether that was some fruit or eggs, again, protein, vegetables, healthy stuff. And then I would have a lunch, which was much lighter, again, no carbs, and then dinner. So that was the third thing I did, was I was trying to eat more frequent in smaller portions. I allowed myself snacks, like I would take, those nuts to munch on every once in a while. I bought protein bars just in case I was hungry, and I wanted a little snack. So I started getting protein bars, stuff like that. 4 was that I did not allow myself to eat past 6 o'clock. I wanted to make sure that that was my end point. I was not eating past 6 o'clock, and if I got hungry for any reason, I would just tell myself that I was thirsty and drink a bunch of water. Or if I really had to and I just really wanted something, I would eat a protein bar, something that doesn't have so much high sugars. I recommend the brand Quest. They have the best from what I've seen. There's a lot of other brands, but I personally like Quest, and that's what I've been using. So that was my 4th tip, and those have most to do with diet, obviously. So I was just focusing on making sure that I was eating really well and staying on top of it. One thing my doctor told me was that it takes 2 weeks for your body to not crave something anymore, which is what I used to push myself through that time. So during that first week, you know, it's hard. It's really hard to say no to burgers or to say no to pasta, stuff like that. And so I was like, you know what, I can do this. If I can make it past these 2 weeks, I can do it. I can totally do this. And so pushing myself past those 2 weeks was what allowed me to get to the point where I didn't crave it anymore. After those 2 weeks, it finally got so much easier. You know, it got to the point where Antonio could be eating a burger in front of me and fries, and I wouldn't crave it anymore, not like I used to. And it was a big difference, and I wasn't used to that because I was so used to having so much carbs, and for a while my body struggled because I was cutting out all the carbs, everything that was filling it, and trying to convince myself that I was full. So there were days where I was a little bit hungrier than others, but I would just, again, push myself. These 2 weeks, I just gotta make it past these 2 weeks, and I can do this. After those 2 weeks, it was just so much easier to eat regularly and avoid the carbs and avoid the sugars and all those other things that are bad for you. So it got much easier after that. Okay, the 5th tip is working out. I had a big phobia of the gym. I hated going to the gym. I felt like every time that I went, all eyes were on me, even though they weren't. But I convinced myself that all eyes were on me and that everybody was watching me and they were judging me and they were telling me how fat I was and they were talking crap about me or they were videotaping me. I feel like there's so many horror stories, and I say horror stories because it really is horrible when people make fun of people that are overweight at the gym. But there's a lot of stories of that happening, and I was terrified. I had so much anxiety every time that I went, and I just hated it. I absolutely hated it. But I had to get myself out of the mindset. I had to remind myself, this is for me. It's not for anybody else. Nobody else is going to benefit from me going to the gym besides me. I'm going to benefit. I need to be there. And getting past that phobia was the hardest part, because when I first started going to the gym, I needed to have somebody there with me. Or not not during this time, but years past, I needed to have somebody there with me. I always had to have somebody there with me because I needed to know that I wasn't alone, that I wasn't a loner there, you know? And it was really hard for me to push past that. But a week, almost 2 weeks after I started eating healthier, on the 27th of July, which was a Saturday, Antonio and I went and we got our gym memberships. And I was really excited. I was so stoked to finally get started. And I went to the gym the 31st. The 31st was the first day that I went. It was a Wednesday. And after I left the gym, I just felt so proud of myself that I did it. I went there alone, first of all. Second of all, I worked my butt off and I sweat so much and I did the damn thing. I was just so proud of myself. I felt so energetic. I felt proud. I felt confident. I just felt great. And that's how I felt all the time that I went. And I began going 6 days out of the week. So I would go Monday through Saturday. Sunday I would let myself rest. So Monday through Saturday I would go for about an hour and a half, if not more. On Saturdays I would try to do 2 hours or more of working out. Anything that got my heart racing, anything that got my heart pumping and got me sweating, I would do. I would also use a waist trimmer that makes you sweat, the ones that have like that thermal thing on the inside that really allow you to sweat more, because I wanted to get rid of as much water weight as I could. And guys, it helped. That's pretty much what I did. That's it. There was nothing super crazy to it. Of course, you know, cutting out carbs and changing a diet cold turkey pretty much is really hard. It's hard to stay on top of it. But again, what kept pushing me, what kept helping me get through it was these 2 weeks. I just have to make it past these 2 weeks and my body won't crave it anymore. So if you have to start with something small, do it. Start with soda. And don't drink soda for 2 weeks straight. Just push past it. Just focus on that for 2 weeks. If you can make it past those 2 weeks, you're good. After those 2 weeks, move on to carbs or something else. You know, little by little, baby steps is what it takes. Luckily, I was able to do it pretty much cold turkey. The one thing is that I did kind of fall off the wagon. Mid-October, I stopped going to the gym and I didn't start going again until like late November. So as of today, I'm still down 35 pounds. I haven't gained any more back, which is good, but I just haven't been as on top of myself as I was when I first started. But I'm not gonna let that stop me. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep pushing. My short-term goal is to go down 50 pounds. And right now I'm at 35, so 50 is totally within reach. All right, so really quickly, I wanted to kind of show you guys where I was before. So these pictures that are coming up right here are from July 29th. I took these pictures in the bathroom at work on my break, and it just shows different angles. I'm gonna zoom in on certain areas. The scrub top fit me, well, both scrub top and the scrub bottoms fit me a lot more snug than they're supposed to. They have an elastic band on the side, and even the elastic band was kind of like stretched out, girl. It was stretched. And so that's kind of what I looked like. My face was chunkier. Even my smile doesn't seem authentic in this picture. And then this is what I looked like on October 1st of 2019. If you can tell, my smile just is much brighter. In the comparison pictures, you can see that there's a difference in how my scrub top fits me. There's a difference in how my scrub bottoms fit me. You can see the difference in the scrub bottoms. And then lastly, I'm going to put the comparison of the two pictures side by side so you can see kind of what I was looking at that point. Which again is just a big difference. You know, clothes are fitting me much different now. You know, it's just things are happening and I can feel it and I can see it. I'm gonna see if I can fit in this clip here of my most recent time to the gym. Well, not the most recent, it was one of the most recent times at the gym where I compared, you know, what I looked like what my side angle looks like, and it's a difference from where I was. And then this picture is of the difference in my face. If you notice, the one to the left that doesn't have any makeup or anything, much chunkier in the face. You can kind of see where, like off to the side, where you can see that the chin is starting to come down, and I just feel like my nose even looks bigger. It's just a big difference. And on the right, I feel more confident. You can see the difference in this area of my face. When I first bought these glasses, they looked super small on me, which they still kind of do, but they looked super small on me because of how chunky my face was, and now they're kind of a little bit better. But you can really see it in my face as well. And I'm just really proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for sticking to it this time. I think that one of the main things is that you just have to hit that point. You have to sit down and have that talk with yourself and hit that wall, and you're like, I can't let this go any further. I cannot let this go any further. There's so many times that I tried to lose weight, I tried to get better, I tried to eat better, I tried to go to the gym, and nothing ever helped except for this time. And I have a lot to thank to the doctor that I work for, and I thank him. I really do. I've told him, because I really appreciate his honesty, and I really appreciate that he was so forward with me in regards to when he saw that picture, because if it wasn't for that, I don't know how far gone I would have gone. I don't know how much more weight I would have gained. And I'm just so excited for what's to come. So this is my first video on my weight loss journey, how I lost 35 pounds in 3 months. I hope that you were able to take something away from this. I know that when I was trying to lose weight, I would watch videos on YouTube of people who were telling their story about how they lost weight. I would follow Instagram accounts. I would do all this. I just in my mind had not made the decision to change until this year, but I really hope that this video will help somebody, whether it's with tips or with anything. I just want you to know that it's possible. You can totally do it. Don't let anything that others can say about you or have said about you, or even what you have said about yourself, stop you from reaching a goal that you know you can achieve. It's definitely not impossible, although it is hard, but you can definitely do it. If a food lover like me can do it, I think you can do it too. Well, that's pretty much it for this video. I tried to keep it as short as I could because I don't want to sit here and just bore you with all my talk. But I really hope that you were able to get something from this video. And if you weren't able to, maybe you can think of somebody who might. But I really hope that this is beneficial for somebody out there. This is my weight loss story, and although I'm only 35 pounds down, there's much more to go, and I know I can reach it. So there's going to be much more videos coming up in the future in regards to this topic. So stay tuned, give this video a like, comment down below any tips that you might have for anybody that's trying to lose weight, whether it's with diet, exercise, or anything like that. Don't forget to turn on my post notifications so you'll be notified every time that I post a video. I will be posting again more weight loss videos, and on top of that I'm going to be looking into posting much more other videos too. So turn on the post notifications, don't forget to subscribe, share this video with anybody that you think might be helpful for, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.